Alright, no messing, just chessing. Let's get right on into things. We're going to play a rapid game, 15 minutes each. Let's have it. Crack things open with a little Sicilian game. I am a little bit foggy. I'm just back from a stag weekend. Good friend of mine, stag out in Barcelona. And I just want to see if the brain still works, because it was a heavy one. It was a heavy one, but a lovely time. And I dedicate this game to Stephen Beale and his upcoming nuptials. So let's see what we can do here. Let's push that out, grab a little bit of the center, and yeah, not the most comfortable. Sometimes I can push in here and box it in a little bit, but well, they need to sort this out first. But I kind of like, almost instinctively or every time, just blunting this bishop, just really making a bite on granite is the term, where you are just staring at pawns, or you can kind of kick it away. Now then, we can continue to close up here and force the bishop here or here. Both of those are fine squares. We can also take here, but then that ends up, when they take back, they get a nice little square for their knight. We could also just develop a piece, but actually, yeah, let's just develop the knight. We're going to want to bring this knight out anyway. If they take here, we can capture back with the bishop, complete our kingside development, get castled, which is what all the books tell you to do. Sometimes it's very easy to react to things that your opponent does or that are happening in the middle of the board and lose a little bit of track of time in terms of getting your pieces out and about. So that is important not to lose sight of. Our next developing move, this is interesting. Pins the knight to the queen, and if they want to like bother with blocking like that, then that's absolutely no skin off my nose. If they want to move their f pawn like that, I think I can live with that. I think I can live with that. Nothing too untoward here. Bishop's going to come out here eventually, maybe the next move, or if we go like this, we're just going to drop back there. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. Pretty happy to provoke that. That's just not a nice looking move. Nothing immediately that we're going to do about that, but it's just a little unsettling. Eventually, if we can get something along that diagonal, they will regret having moved that piece. So next up is our dark square bishop, and again, no better square than here, I don't think. There's no threat of immediate check because the knight is blocking the rook's path to our king. So I don't really mind that. Don't really mind that at all. Don't think I want to trade off this bishop. Okay, actually, let's have a look here, because this might be a little bit tricksy. Not tricksy, but unsettling. Because now we've got two attackers on this boy. That's fine. I'm actually not too worried about the knight taking here, because knight takes, and if bishop takes, you might think, oh no, we've lost a pawn there, but then we can actually gain the pawn back by sacrificing our bishop here, and then the queen stares at the bishop, and that's check. So we do have time to get that pawn back. So it might just be castling. That seems a little counterintuitive, but I don't really want to give away, or I don't really mind giving away this bishop. And thankfully, again, this f-pawn move stops the queen from being in contact with the bishop, so there is not as much danger of losing that as I might think. Could also throw in this move, which I don't hate anymore. Also makes it a little bit more awkward to get this knight out, so that might be a nice little intermezzo. But I think it's probably castling. I just don't want to let them move that rook in there with tempo. So I think we can just get away with castling here. I think we can just get safe. overall, I think if we can get out of this immediate kind of... Oopsie. Yeah, if we can get out of this immediate sort of tactical battle, I'm pretty happy with our lead in development. They've got 2 pieces out, we've got 4. They've had to commit to this F3 thing, and you know, eventually we might be able to take here, bring the queen out here, put some pressure here. Again, this is all a little bit dependent on what they do. If they take here, we take back here. Pushing there doesn't really work. Pushing there, we can just drop the knight back to its sort of more natural home, and then there's a gaping hole there on e4, which would be just an absolute dream home for a knight. So, I mean, they can say their piece too. That's interesting now. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see what they're going for here. Right. Okay. So they've taken with the bishop first, which is very interesting and quite annoying. I think that's not a bad move, to be honest, because we take back with this knight, and this knight gets to take the bishop, and there's no trade there. If we take with this bishop, takes, but there's probably this in between. Does that work? Pretty complicated. And again, we are giving up this dark square bishop, which is nice, but I think tactically takes. Okay, let's work through takes. Takes. Maybe takes. This. It's here. Takes. It's messy. It's very messy, but I think there's a chance this works out in our favor. So let's just take here, see what happens. The worst advice in chess. See what happens. You're supposed to think about what happens, but we're gonna mess things up. We're gonna really mess up what's going on here. It could even get messier still. If they take here, we take here, they take here, we take here. This is a funny one. This is a real funny one. I'm sure there is some lesson to be learned. The thing is, we are up material right now. If we can, yeah, if we can just exfiltrate here, I think we're okay. I think we're cruising here. Pawn structure is gammy as all heck, but I think we're just up material. I think we're just up 2 pawns. 1 pawn when they take back here, but I don't see too much of a problem with any of this. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with how that's gone. This bishop eventually is going to come back here. Don't want to get caught on the hop if they end up moultering up there. But we have an extra bishop. They've got 2 pawns for that bishop, so it's not cut and dry winning, but I'm pretty happy with it. I don't think I'm going to regret moving the rook to the e-file. I don't know if it's that valuable to just go hunting this pawn. He's not really causing much damage at the moment. There is that element there, but there's nothing we can do to stop that. So this pawn is not in that much jeopardy, I don't think. Because this just seems like this is the pawn that may eventually come under fire. So let's just do this for now. We certainly won't regret it. I was tempted to do this, but then we're like giving them the solution to the problem we caused with that is a move they want to make anyway, so it's not that beneficial to us to do that. I think we can just sort of slowly improve here. Like, that's obviously going to be much better for us than where the bishop is right now. Okay, this knight might jump in here and a nuisance of himself there, and that's fine too. So now I think we can come up here, hit the knight, hit the pawn. Can't save them both with that move. Knight could come in here. Don't really mind that, because we can take with check and then move our rook out of the way. So I think this works. Just a very comfortable position, if I'm honest. I really don't see too much of a sting in the tail here for us. I think we're going to claim back this pawn pretty shortly. And aside from our extra piece, we just have so much more space. A lot more safety of our king. Everything's coming up Millhouse right now. But it's never too late to throw it all away. Never too late to just completely crash the car and lose the game in one move. So we remain vigilant. My voice is a good few octaves lower this Monday morning because we were out on the tear over the weekend, but also Ireland were playing England in the Six Nations and we won. And I was doing a lot of Ric Flair style whooping, which completely lost my voice yesterday and is now an octave or two lower, which I don't mind, but it's tiring. It's tiring stuff. Okay, knight back home. No reason not to take this right away with check. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that. And now, do we want the rook on D or do we want the rook on B? B causes a bit more havoc, but D, it's wide open, creates an immediate threat, which is nice. Immediate semi-threat or future threat, I suppose. Again, like I don't think I'm gonna regret having it on D here. Nothing funky with the knight. I'll trade off these knights if they want to do that. I think we just have enough of an edge that we can do this with fewer pieces. We can just get to an endgame and win. That's fine by me. Trade off queens might be a little bit abrupt, although I do think it would really work because we can just... we trade off with the rook. We can eventually get rooks into 7th rank here, or the 2nd rank in this case. Gotta move our queen out of the way anyway. There's an idea. That seems a little bit like, oh, please trade with me. You don't want to go too far out of your way for trading. Here, oh, excuse me. Here seems a little bit more reasonable, a little bit still really good. Yeah, I think that's just going to be a little bit smoother. Again, puts some distant, vague pressure on this pawn. Something that they just have to keep an eye on. And a lot of good games you play, it's just giving your opponent like one too many things to keep an eye on. So just making note of all the like secondary contact your pieces are making with each other, and all the like blocking that's going on. Again, it's you can't keep track of all of this at once, but you can deliberately keep track of a few of them and make your moves in direct service of implementing that. So like, for example, you know, in a distant future or some future, we might push this, push that, bring the rook across. We don't need to right now. And I think I kind of want to push this guy anyway, and there's not too many wonderful squares for this knight to go, so I don't mind the push at all. Yeah, it blocks the queen, but also opens up this in theory. Again, using this rule of thumb, when you are one diagonal square away from a knight, you're as safe as can be. It's like 4 moves before they can get to you, so plenty of time. I think now we're gonna go this charge up here. And actually with our, look at this complete border control right here. Like, very hard to just move things into proceedings here. Double pressure here. This is a bit of a solution, but it's a little bit janky. Just bring your rook. I mean, it's technically we're preparing to double our rooks, but it could get a little hairy. But I think because of the tempo it brings, it's defended by the knight. This knight's not catching it. I think it does solve our problem. For now. For now. This is begging to be reacted to. It needs to get reacted to. And then I think this push is going to be okay. Well, less so now, but that's fine. There's a vaguely interesting thing like this. You might see something like that. Push. That's defended. We do have to keep an eye on our back rank though. So, but yeah, this bishop isn't really doing much where it is right now. But also I don't know how much we want to encourage them to get their rooks into the game, but I think this is okay. I think it's pretty active. Don't see an immediate blunder, but you never really do you? That's how they get you. This then becomes interesting, but not that interesting because that actually gives the knight an out. That is fine. That's fine. That's fine. I think. Well, it's not that fine. That seems interesting to me. Yeah, this is getting a little awkward. This is getting a little more awkward than I would like. I don't know how good this bishop move actually was, but I think it's also a little bit fine. Because I think we can just do this. There's not quite checkmate threats, but there's double trade of rooks threats, which I think definitely benefits us. At this stage, maybe it was trading the queens. Maybe that's what we needed to do, but okay, that's all right. Can live with that. This is all a little discombobulated. It's not very well coordinated. Like none of these are defending each other. Well, that is kind of solved with just like that. So we don't want to talk ourselves into losing either because we are quite a ways up on like material and position, you'd probably say. So should be okay. Don't want to relinquish this square. I wonder, actually, what about this? Where would the knight go? The knight would come here. We need to get our king a little bit safer. We need to get some sort of air into our king here. That could be, like, if we get time. What? So this is probably what I see. That's what I would play. Just that there. Although there isn't yeah, there is. That there. Also interesting is this. Because then we can push this pawn. But then no, because then they get there. So we might do. Ooh, interesting. That's a bit of a doozy now. Squeeze the rook over here. It's a bit cheap. Queen has plenty of air to get away, and even again helping give them time to do something they would want. I think something like this might be a little better. Then you get this. There's also this, which is a little crazy. It's a little crazy, but it's kind of doing more there than it is anywhere else. That is a little bit crazy. I'll give it to you straight. It's wild, but I like it. No, don't do that, don't do that. Because then I can then jump back here and hit both. But then our queen can come in here and hit that rook's trap. I think we can get away with it. Let's do it. One move further than you think you need. If the knight comes back here, like, oh no, we've lost a piece, but they've opened the door to this pressure we put on, and this rook doesn't have enough squares to get away. With this pawn here as well, with none of our pieces in danger, this once more becomes dangerous. Troubling. I would be a lot happier if our king could breathe. There's no immediate threat of a back rank 8, but there is a vague threat. There's a possibility that a threat could unleash something tactical, which obviously wouldn't be great. Obviously wouldn't like that so much. Interestingly, this is also just an immediate threat, which is nice. Yeah. If we can give up this square, like so, it's a little bit tempo-y. But I guess we could slam that over there, and then do something like that. It's possible. Yeah, I don't think I want to give rook access to this. So let's just do this. Knight comes in here. Rook takes here. Tricky. It's tricky. We just haven't quite had time to play this. They've done a good job of keeping the threats up, despite being down material. It's a tricky game. But I think once we can get a bit of luft, I think we do have enough pressure on their 7th rank, their 2nd rank, to make it pay. Obviously have to give away that lovely square for the knight. And then there's threats like this, and that, and it's actually okay, I think. Main thing, keeping that rook off that open file. I like the rook here. Okay, oh. I think now is the time for some Luftwaffe. Nope, not that one. Yeah, I think so. I think it's been such a problem for so long. And I don't really mind losing the exchange here. Well, again, that's not really an option. So I think we can just do this and go on with our lives. Just means this doesn't really matter that much anymore. There's like maybe takes. No, because if it takes, we just immediately do that and checkmate them. They try to get a little cute here and make some luft. I think that's checkmate. Because we got Bush. Okay, we did talk about this. I think we can just take here. And when he takes, we take. It's a weird one. It's a weird one. Also this. Where the queen would sort of have to come here. That's pretty interesting. This is maybe a little cleaner. I think this. They can trade off all they like here. They'll win a pawn, but we got that pawn instead. This. That's okay, hopefully. That too should be okay. Queen comes back and takes this, but make a little threat here. Just in case they miss it, but also force them to respond to it. Checkmate threats, you gotta love them. There's a push here, but that's fine. We can use this as kind of an umbrella pawn. Took our king in here. Using our time, but that's what it's there for. What's interesting is if they do this, which is kind of, I'm looking at it now, it's kind of forced, or else they just trade off their queen, which I'm like, amazing, we can absolutely mop this up if they don't have a queen. I think this is actually weirdly a very annoying move, so I'll be interested to see how they respond, because they can't move. If they bring the rook over there, knight here becomes really annoying because you're threatening to suffocate, you're threatening to fork, you still have the threats there. It's all getting a little hairy, and thankfully the knight moving out of there, should this happen, doesn't open up any immediate checks or anything like that, so we're okay there. I think that's very hard to stop. And now I wonder about this. I think it's not bad. Queen here, is that very annoying? Not really, because of that. Pressure should be enough here, I think. Yeah. I think there is just enough coordination between our gang. We just are able to counter threat our way out of any counterplay. I think. This game is a real habit of making you feel silly, thinking you've got it all figured out. Well, the queen's got to move. There's no checks. I mean, like, well, there's that, but like, there's no. They would need to be sort of threatening checkmate on the next move, which I'm not seeing, or some sort of perpetual draw. Because barring any disasters, we're jumping in here. Let's check. It's also hitting the rook. And the rook is defending the knight, so there's no taking there. Our king is actually relatively safe here. I think if they had 4 more moves, they could maybe construct something that was a perpetual check or a ladder checkmate, but they don't. That's not how chess works. Thankfully. But to be honest, I didn't see this queen move either. We just happened to have this resource here, which was nice. Yeah, I don't feel the need to not jump in here. Let's check. It's the rook. We're gonna take that rook. We still have this threat. So I would say that is gonna be all she wrote. Yeah, that's a good game. That's a good game. I thought they did that weird tactical thing at the very start with the knight and bishop sort of trade-off that just didn't quite work out for them. But from there, they made it really awkward, I thought it was, very, very finely balanced, despite us having the extra material, which I think is a testament to, they kept making threats. I think we managed them well. It was here when they jumped the knight in, we got our king out of trouble. I don't know if that was safe or not. And then, yeah, when they took this bishop here, that's when it gets a little messy, because we're able to take the knight. They took that bishop there. I think the mistake was probably this bishop coming in. Let's have a quick look at the game review and see what happens. Well, this is all fine. This is all not bad play, actually, by either of us. Quite alright. That is a blunder. We do find the right response to it, which is taking the bishop there. And I think we both played pretty well. And just from here, we were able to... It was a bit of a grind. But yeah, they did just... Like, I mean, look at this construction where you've got the two rooks barking orders down the D and E file. You've got a bishop who, again, needed a bit of improvement. And then this knight and the king, safe as houses, don't even need to deploy him because of the extra material. And anything else? From what I'm seeing, we're making a lot of good decisions here. Some good decisions rather than great ones, but listen, not every move is going to be a brilliancy. Sometimes you just need to stay alive. But I don't think we made a single mistake this game. Let's find out, because I'm sure there is... Yeah, I don't think we made a single mistake that game. That is very nice. What sort of accuracy are you giving me there? Because I need the number. 88.6. We have one miss. Oh, it was at the very end. Oh no. Our very last move. Because this is check. It's mate in 2, whereas this, they can... Anyway, I guess they can do this. No, they can do this maybe? Yeah. Okay, so we nearly played a perfect game, as it were. Not a perfect game, but we nearly played a faultless game. That very, very last move. But to be honest, it was the difference between winning immediately versus winning like slightly later. So I am pretty happy with that. But listen, you want to take your checkmates when you can, because you're not always going to have those misses when you're in a completely commanding position. So yeah, one mistake game. Don't mind that at all. Do not mind that at all. Thanks for sticking around. I hope you have had a lovely weekend, and I hope you have a lovely week ahead. All the very best, and enjoy your chess.